Yo, what do you do, guys? It is your boy, Leon Mookie here, back with you with another new chapter of The Hero of Senran Kagura. And sorry that it's been forever since I updated this story. Once again, guys, I am sorry. To be honest, I need to be completely honest about this story. Don't worry, it's nothing bad. I am not dropping this story whatsoever. But I actually I already have on where I wanted to take this story, especially with major plot points. However, when it came to leading into those plot points, like the in-between chapters, I realized I have no idea what the fuck I'm going to do with that. So I kind of screwed myself over with that. Because of this, I had to rewrite and basically work over multiple scripts. Sucks that I don't have a beta writer, so I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of my own fault. But then again, like I said, I'm doing this all for fun. Another thing is, originally I was planning on giving the rest of the UA team members like their own harem, like from that of, other Senran Kagura teams actually. Mainly that of Sero, Kagura, and that of Hiru. Except Tamaki, after all, which he'd be shipped with Nejire. But I decided to drop that idea entirely. It's just Izuku with the main girls from Senran Kagura, after all. I was so set on this, but I kind of realized there are way too many, Senran Kagura teams. And I mean that from the mobile game. Turns out the mobile game is actual canon to that of Senran Kagura lore. That means all of the teams in that game are canon too. Hell, even the guest characters as well. So yeah. And unlike Grand Blue Fantasy, which still hasn't had that of an English server, yet I still keep up with the lore with that, I am not trying to give myself a headache just so I can keep up with the plot of, hot shinobi girls with that of big asses and tits, basically rip each other's clothes off and all that. I may mention the other shinobi schools here and there in this story, but they won't play much of a major role like I originally wanted to. I think I was trying to make things more important than they should have. And that's my own fault. I'm sorry, guys. But even so, this story will not die whatsoever. At any rate, let's go through that of a quick recap with the last chapter. Izuku is going on a date with basically all of his other girlfriends. Not only that, he's also aware that, he's fine. Yozakura and also Shiki have basically confessed their feelings for the Greenette as well, even though, personally, he doesn't feel deserving of it, given that he's spent his entire life always being put down, even though he's always stood back up and always tried to prove people wrong. That's subconsciously, he basically still believes in those words that he doesn't deserve anything nice in his life, that being his girlfriends. So to basically prove that he does, they all decided to go on a date with him. First with that of the girls from Hanzo, being Asuka, Yajayu, and Hibari, and the last girls being the guessing girls, being Yumi, Yozakura, Shiki, Morikumo, and Miori. And turns out it was one huge success, and leaving a lot of guys, basically jealous of our favorite cinnamon roll shinobi. So, with all that said, let's get into this, shall we, guys? Chapter 10, Blast from the Past. After finishing up his dates with the girls and arriving back at his home, Izuku couldn't help but still have that of flushed cheeks, blushing about being on a real date, but with not just one girl, but with 8 girls. As on his face, Izuku couldn't help but look like that of a embarrassed, lovesick puppy, before hearing a familiar voice saying, so I'm guessing the date went well, right? With then Izuku freaking out a bit as it being from his father, Hisashi, as he's currently in that of casual robes, looking like he seems like he has a day off. Then Izuku saying, oh, Hey, Dad. Yeah, it went amazing. Saying, you're lucky I found out. If your mom was here, she'd be wanting to date entirely. Also, more surprised that nothing, that did anything crazy happen? More surprised that none of the girls were basically took you to that of a, well, love hotel. Within Izuku blushed, say, Dad, it's nothing like that. Nothing at all. We would never. Within soon, Hisashi couldn't help but laugh, saying, I'm joking. But knowing your mom, she's not entirely joking. Knowing that you have this many girlfriends, she really wants a lot of grandkids, so you better be prepared for that. With then Izuku saying, please stop joking about that. You really think I'm joking? With then soon, Hisashi sighing, saying, besides your mom, you also have your duty as well. Especially since you are the heir to the Midoriya family, our clan needs to rebuild itself. With then saying, you never really talked about our family lineage. Saying, that's because I wanted to wait for the perfect opportunity. You got into UA and you're doing well and finding out that UA now has that of a shinobi program and is planning on getting into that of the world of the shinobi. Maybe it's a good time for me to bring it up. I never told your mom this, but I did tell her that our clan goes deep and I'm one of the last remaining survivors of it. Our clan is also the reason on why I have so many connections, both in that of the shinobi from good to evil to neutral to even rogues, even in some connections into that of the world of heroes as well. Aren't you going to tell Mom? I still don't want to worry about this, but you have the right to know. After you are my son and, like I said, the heir to our clan. As the two are currently in that of the living room, with then Izuku saying, so, what is it, Dad? With then Hisashi sighing, saying, the Midoriya clan, I told you we are a neutral clan. That's because I made it that way. Originally, we were basically a triple agent clan, actually. With then soon saying, wait, what? You heard me. The Midoriyas were neither good shinobi or evil shinobi or even rogue shinobi. We were a clan that basically worked on both sides, actually. And unlike that of neutral shinobi, which have no correlation to that of either good or evil or rogue shinobi, and are willing to do their own thing and work with either good or evil, shinobi clans like us that are willing to work with all forms of factions, even that of neutral, are basically the most dangerous because we have the most intel and information on all factions. We're not afraid to betray the good shinobi for evil shinobi. We're not afraid to betray that of evil shinobi for that of rogue shinobi. And we're definitely not afraid to betray that of neutral shinobi to any of the rogue, evil, or good shinobi. As long as we get paid, and as long as we gain more and more information, the Midoriyas were basically untouchable. Our clan basically ranged from over that of 500 distant relatives all across the world, and not just in Japan as well. But that all changed. It was about when I was 16 years old, still in high school, when it happened. The execution order for the Midoriya clan. All facets of shinobi, from that of good, evil, rogue, neutral, all four fronts of shinobis planned on wiping out our family. At first, I thought it was out of warning or out of malice. I thought it was only like a few shinobi clans that felt betrayed for us selling away their secrets and information. But no, this was a plan by the Shinobi Council, all the Shinobi Councils, to eliminate us once and for all. We were too dangerous in the world, too dangerous to let live. However, because of this action, I was the sole survivor of the clan. I did everything I could to stay alive, everything I could to basically hide my identity. After the heat died down, I became the head of the clan. Originally, the head of the clan was actually my older cousin. She was supposed to be the head, but Unfortunately, she was also caught up in the extermination. She had a lot of talent. If you met her, you would have liked her, actually, Izuku. After that, I basically made it that the Midoriya clan would remain a neutral. We would neither sell or basically betray information or trade information for anything. We would work with both good and evil shinobi, even rogue shinobi if need be as well. But we would never. But to keep trust and ties to that of all three factions, we made sure that we would never, ever betray their trust. No more secrets, no more half-truths, no more lies, and no more double-crossing. That was what the one thing I wanted to make sure to keep out. It was during that time I met Inko, and it was also during that time I met Kurokage Sensei and Master Hanzo, alongside that of his wife as well, Master Senyu as well. At first, she didn't trust me because, well, you know, my issue, because of my clan's, well, past actions. She had a bit of grudge against a few of our members back in the day that betrayed her, just for the money, after all. So it took me a while for her to trust me, especially being around her daughter. But over time, I regained the trust of all shinobis, even those in the evil faction as well. Even became a teacher for a short time. Within, Izuku saying, wow. Within, Hisashi continued speaking while nodding to his son, but then saying, our clan is basically almost close to being a dead clan. You and I are the only ones left, Izuku. I didn't want to tell your mom. I only told your mom that we are a shinobi family now. That we basically work in the shadows and everything like that. However, if I told her the truth about the past of the Midoriya family, about everything that has happened, she would basically be feeling on edge all the time. Civilians that marry into that of a shinobi family always feel like they, especially when they know things that they shouldn't, always constantly feel on edge. Why do you think that Master Hanzo, Master Senyu, and even that of Asuka's own mother keep things from her father after all? He's aware of the shinobi lifestyle, but he doesn't know about the things that happen in the family. It's best to make sure that things like that doesn't happen so they don't feel like their life is always in peril, like they're always going to die if they're not careful. All we just want to do is make sure the life for your mother stays the same. You got that, Izuku? But then Izuku saying, right, I understand, Dad. I promise. But you forgot. Within standing up from the couch, giving his dad that of a smile, saying, I plan on being both a shinobi and a hero. I don't plan on betraying anybody. And just like you told me, good shinobi and evil shinobi are no different from one another. It's just the titles that they're given because of their actions. Simple as that. Hearing those words from his son, Hisashi couldn't help but smirk, saying, that's my boy. But like I said, you have the duty as a clan heir to restore our family. That means you're possibly going to need to get a lot more girlfriends. And the last time I checked, soon, Izuku's entire face went red, saying, please don't bring this up again. Saying, no promises, especially if your mom talks about this. Saying, seriously? With that, it almost looked inside of the Midoriya residence. Outside, you could basically see steam fogging up the entire apartment complex. The very next day, Izuku is now getting ready for school. However, as he's about to leave for UA, he soon has that of two visitors, Yajayu and Hibari, with Yajayu having that of a confident, blushing smile on her face, with Hibari also having that of a pretty, well, still cheerful and bubbly smile as always. But then, as she's saying, hey there, Izuku-chan, I hope you're having that of a good morning. With then soon Izuku saying, oh, Hibari-chan, Yajayu. I'm guessing you guys wanted to see me off to school today as well? Within Yajayu saying, of course, darling. Why wouldn't we? You know, originally I thought it was going to be Asuka and Yumi that snuck into my room and basically slept with me, just like before, within soon. Both girls saying, what? With then soon Izuku saying, right, should have not said that out loud. Well, you see, that's beside the point. But anyway, I don't mind spending time with the two of you on the way to school. I just don't want you guys to be late as well. But then soon, Yajayu saying, please, darling, I am aware of our time. Personally, we'll just basically see each other off to that at the train station, and we then go our separate ways. As much as I would love to want to spend time with you all the way to UA, we do have time. We do have our own school to get to. Within Hibari saying, but we could spend time possibly out of school. How does that sound? And she's basically jumping in place while her breasts are basically, jumping around as well. With then Izuku blushing while still having that of a carefree smile saying, sure, I would love that. Hopefully, if, shinobi training doesn't get in the way. Within Yajayu saying, most likely our shinobi training will get in the way as well. I guess we won't be able to spend time with you, darling. I guess we should have realized this. Within hearing that, Hibari also becomes quite down, with her face begins to pout a little bit. But then Izuku saying, but maybe after training, I'll make it up to you girls. Promise. Within hearing that, both girls couldn't help but basically have that of a happy expression before leaping on to Izuku and out of a hug. After getting off the train station and going their separate ways with his two girlfriends, Izuku is now heading to UA with then thinking, seriously, I remember how the guys reacted when I basically told them that Yumi and Asuka were my girlfriends. I wonder how they're going to react I wonder how those in my class would react with then soon. As he gets closer and closer to UA, wondering, being in both a relationship with multiple girls, trying to become a hero, living up to All Might's legacy and ideas, being his successor, and now being the heir of my family and having to rebuild my clan. It's crazy, actually. So many expectations, so many dreams basically placed on my shoulders. Normally, I would feel overwhelmed, feel like I would need to push myself constantly, day in and day out, to live up to those expectations. But in reality, within stepping into UA, Izuku, as he has that of a confident smile, a smile of full-on determination to strive forward and to complete his duties, saying, I don't feel worried at all. If anything, I feel ecstatic. It's as close to the same smile that he had during that at the provisional license exam. However, little did anybody notice, two figures basically noticed a smile on Izuku, as they're both blondes that we all know and love, and rather we all love to hate or hate to hate, as them being Mirio and Bakugo. Bakugo arriving at UA almost close to the same time as Izuku, as he basically wanted to blow up in his face. However, since he's in UA, he's on more of a strict leash. He doesn't want to risk his chances of becoming a great hero after all, to become the number one hero, the hero that will surpass all those who were beneath him and show that he is the greatest of them all. And yet, why can't the greatest basically do whatever the hell he wants? That's exactly what All Might is capable of. He's able to do whatever the hell he wants, and he's the number one hero, the best of the best, the strongest, his idol that he wants to surpass more than anything. And yet, he feels like he can't do what he's meant to do, as he's destined to be the number one hero. And seeing Izuku basically strutting around, smiling, being happy, walking around the school like he owns the place. Like back in Aldera when he was basically ruling the school. To him, Izuku was nothing but a parasite, a leech in his path to greatness. And he'll do whatever it takes to basically destroy him once and for all. As for Mirio, on the other hand, keeping an eye on that of the team as that of a favor and order from that of his mentor, Sir Night-Eye. Heck, he even still wondering on why, Sir Night-Eye doesn't trust him. As every time that he saw him, he doesn't seem too bad. But then he remembers when he talked to Tamaki after his training as a shinobi, asking how his shinobi training's going, with Tamaki basically, nervously dodging a few questions to say that it's going well and it's all right and everything like that. As Mirio asked on who's on his team, but then Tamaki basically said that he can't say because it's, private. And he doesn't want, especially since these are orders from Mr. Aizawa. With then, hearing this, Mirio saying, so Aizawa, is this supposed to be Yue's shinobi teacher? I see. With Mirio saying, well then, just keep doing what you're doing. Seeing that you haven't given up on it, proving that you're doing your best. I'm still rooting for you, buddy. Hearing the words from his best friend and idol, Tamaki couldn't help but have that of a shaky smile. But it's a shaky smile of determination and to an encouragement as well. Back with Mirio, wondering, could Midoriya be a shinobi? Is that the reason on why Sir doesn't trust him? But wait, if he doesn't trust a shinobi, could it be that he doesn't trust... If I told him about Tamaki being a shinobi, would that mean he wouldn't trust him either? I don't know what to do. What? Tamaki never really told me what a shinobi really was. When we were kids, I always thought it was just, it was just special training for him to help out with his quirk or to help out with physical abilities as well. Back then, he was always really good at, when it comes to that of, athletics, mainly running, jumping, that sit-ups, squats, and many other exercises. But other than that, I never really understood what it meant with Mirio thinking this, wanting more answers, not just from his best friend, but also from his mentor, wondering what he truly wants as well. Back outside of Masafu, on the outskirts of the city of Asakusa, lies that of Hibijo Clandestine Academy. As the school year is going on pretty strong, with that of now allowing that of co-ed after all, things at Hibijo has gotten quite interesting. Hell, surprisingly, there are already couples forming in the school, to be honest. Already happy and everything. However, some of these couples are mainly formed because of union between that of evil shinobi clans, though. But even with that, it seems that they work out pretty well, to be honest, so not too all bad. However, as for Hibijo's elite squad, classes are basically, the same what you would see in any typical Japanese high school. Boring, but long as always. Currently in that of Class 2F, with being the homeroom class of the leader of Hibijo's elite squad, Homura, and Izuku's current girlfriend, with then, as classes are basically beginning, as everybody takes their seats. However, one seat still remains, empty, with then soon their teacher saying, it seems Morisaki-san still hasn't come to class after all. What a shame. I hope the girl knows that she's risking her future not showing up. As the classroom begins to mutter among themselves, with a male student saying, seriously, I've never even seen that chick before. With another female student saying, I think I've seen her around before, especially around the girls' dorm. Within another female student saying, yeah, I hear that she has that of long purple hair after all, and looks pretty damn gloomy. With then soon a male student saying, seriously? That's what she looks like? Anything else? With then a female student saying, I think I seen her have that of a stuffed animal. It looked blue, to be honest. With then Homer hearing all of this, with then she begins thinking, long purple hair, gloomy as hell, and a blue stuffed animal? Seriously, she's supposed to be a high schooler and a shinobi, and yet, with then realizing, wait, her name was Morisaki? With then realizing, oh right, she's that of pathetic Emu's sister. Of course that she would be useless as well. With then thinking, as she's still stuck on the one thing that still comes up in her head, that being the long purple hair. As then she thinks, long purple hair. Now that I think about it, it reminds me of that one girl that me and Izuku spent time with when we were kids. Around the playground, I think we hanged out with her for at least a good 2 years or so. Then she just disappeared. I wonder what happened to her. Saki-chan, her name was. With Homura basically crossing her legs on that of the desk while also crossing her arms behind her head. But then thinking, whatever. Also after school, I should head to that of Izuku's home and give him my phone number. I mean, even though he's accepted my feelings, I think I do want to talk to him again. Hopefully that he's not too mad for me not speaking to him for so long. As just thinking about her childhood friend / crush, now love, as she hasn't seen him for over that of 3 years. Feeling that maybe part of him hates her, even though he's accepted her feelings. As for on that of the grounds of Hibijo, leaving that of the girls' dorm is that of a certain girl wearing that of that of a Hibijo uniform, black and all, as their hair is basically dragging on that of the ground, and in her arms being that of her stuffed animal, as she's currently leaving the school grounds. However, stepping in her path being that of two females. However, they are actually Hibijo females, mainly that of teachers actually, with one of them saying, "Halt, you there. What are you doing? School is already in session. You should be heading to class." Within, one of them say, "Hey, I've seen her before. On that of the student registration, see? She's Morisaki, if I recall." Saying, "Morisaki? Wait, Emu's little sister? The same girl that's basically she's been trying to cover for alongside that of Miyabi?" With then Morisaki saying, Emu, Miyabi. No, they're not Izu. I need to find Izu. Me and Bebi need to find Izu. Within the shinobi teacher saying, "Look, I don't know why you're out here, but if you don't return to class, then we will," as the female shinobi was about to touch Morisaki. However, something depressing, something threatening, and something malicious coming from that of Morisaki, as her dead eyes basically show that of pure, unadulterated death. Within, soon, the presence alone basically causes both shinobi females to pass out on the ground, with then soon walking away as she's heading deeper and deeper into that of the death-like forest that heads straight into that of the city of Tokyo, hoping to find her childhood best friend. Back at Masafu at UA, as the day basically goes on with normal classes as always, with then Izuku back with that of his shinobi companions. However, surprisingly sitting right next to them is that of Ida and Ochako as well, with then introducing that of his classmates to that of his shinobi companions and classmates from that of Class 1B, as the interaction wasn't really half bad, to be honest. Normally, you would possibly expect that maybe things would have escalated, but surprisingly, not so much. Ida was a bit strict, but nothing too major, which almost did set Sen alongside that of Ren off a little bit. But both boys basically just listen to Izuku saying that he's basically a stickler for the rules, so don't let it turn you off to the guy. With even Sero basically vouching for Izuku, alongside that of Ochako as well. As the two boys couldn't help but see more Ida as possibly that of a strict older brother figure in the class, possibly in Class 1A. Kind of reminds them about their residential redhead in their own class that they see as that of a, big sister figure, as she's already basically shown that of her for herself. As lunch runs down and the last remaining classes begin, Class 1A has that of one more class left before that of the day ends. This last class being Hero Studies. Unlike that of Hero Informatics, which focus on that of regulations and laws of heroes that they had to follow and recognize, Hero Studies basically allow that of full-on hero action, such as that of combat, rescue, and many other situations as well. Basically, ways to allow them to use their quirk any way they see fit. With the class wondering on who's going to be their homeroom teacher. Before then, the door basically slides open, as then soon a muscular man that we all know and love comes in like that in a dramatic way, saying, "I am here, coming to the door like a normal person." As everybody in the class, a select few in the class, couldn't help but get excited. As Kirishima, the red-haired spiky boy of Class 1A, can help but say, "Seriously? All Might really is a teacher here?" Kaminari saying, "Oh boy, seriously, I knew this school just got 10 times a lot better than before." With then Tsuyu saying, "Hey, I've seen that costume before. Isn't that his Silver Age costume?" With then Ojiro speaking, saying, "Yeah, that's quite retro, to be honest." With then Izuku saying, "So he really is a teacher. Possibly got this class because he wanted to keep an eye on me." Kind of any sensei would probably do that for their student and, successor and protege. As All Might walks to that of the podium, within saying, "I know you've been waiting for this, students. On your first day, you were basically taking that of a quirk apprehension test because of that of Mr. Aizawa, who did threaten you that he would expel you. But never fear, I will not do such a thing. I wouldn't want to waste the potential of you promising prospects after all. And I can tell that some of you weren't really excited for your yesterday because you had that of Hero Informatics class. As much as I know that a class like that is annoying, but the class is important to understand regulations and laws as a pro hero. Your job is to basically uphold them and to make sure that every civilian is following them. Just because villains are willing to commit crimes in the open, that doesn't mean there are some civilians who are also breaking the law as well. They may not be villains, but they're still criminals, even by accident. I hope you all understand that, young students." Within hearing that, some that were on the fence about the class, surprisingly even Bakugo, take All Might's words with that of, caution as well and understanding, realizing the importance of the Hero Informatics class. Within sued, All Might saying, "But today is the class I know you've all been excited for. The class you've all wanted to take on since the beginning of UA. And this is the Hero Studies, UA's best and brightest class of all, where you'll be taking everything you've learned and what you'll be doing on the field, onto the field, seeing what you would be capable and what you would do on site as a hero, either it be that of combat, rescue, or even that of crowd control as well. But for today, we'll be doing that of within, raising that of a block from behind him, as it says the word combat. We'll be doing combat class. Within, Bakugo couldn't help but scream out, "Fight training!" Within, Izuku couldn't help but raise an eyebrow, saying, "Of course you would be excited for that, Kachan. Why wouldn't you?" However, Bakugo isn't the only one that's excited. As for Kirishima, alongside that of Sero, Mina, and again, surprisingly, Momo as well, as she doesn't really show it, but her eyes say it all that she's prepared. Within, All Might saying, "Now, you would think that you would be starting this with that of your gym uniforms. However, this today will be allowing you the use of your costumes." As then bringing out a remote and pressing a button. As then suitcases begin to emerge from the back of the class, saying, each of those suitcases have that of your specifications. They're also labeled into that of your seating order, so make sure that you grab the right one. After saying that, everyone in the class saying, "Yes, sir," as they grab every one of them grab their suitcases with their costumes in, head to the changing room. Several minutes later, waiting for the students to arrive, All Might began to hear that of footsteps as his trademark smile still stands tall. Soon, All Might saying, "Looks like you rookies are ready. To not only be a pro, you gotta look the part of the pro. And you all embody that idea really well." Within, each and every one of Class 1A shows off their costumes. Looking around, a few of them couldn't help but compliment others in their class as well, costumes and how they look, and how much it fits them. However, a certain green net hasn't appeared yet, with Zero saying, "Huh? Hey, where's Midoriya?" With then both Ida and Ochako looking around, before in that of the tunnel, they begin to hear that of footsteps. Within, entering, now showing himself being that of Izuku and his hero costume, as his costume basically takes aspects from that of the costume he would wear in the anime. However, his costume has a bit of added features, or rather, some improvements, as it still looks like it. However, it's sleeveless. It's basically sleeveless with that of gauntlets on them that basically look like that of claws. Iron guard boot. He also has that of iron guard boots as well, under that, basically over that of his regular sneakers actually, which has that of a mechanism features that allow him to grab on. That seems like they have that of talons on the back and in front of them. With then still having that of the rebreather that looks like that of a smile, and the hood, and also the hood that basically represents that of All Might, with that of the two ears that's supposed to symbolize his hair shape in the shape of a V. However, what also stands out as well is that of the long scarf on him that almost looks like it's made out of energy. Within, Zero saying, "Damn, Midoriya, looking good." But a part of me also say you look kind of ridiculous as well, saying, "Ha ha, very funny, Zero." Says the guy that basically looks like that of a walking tape dispenser. With then Zero saying, "Oh, shut the hell up. That's based on my whole menteeth." With then saying, "Yeah, and I don't want to hear it from you." With then Ochako saying, "Hey, Deku, your costume. It looks so cool. You actually, and adorable too." With then suit Izuku saying, "Thanks, Uraka. I like that. I think your costume is cute too." With then looking at her costume, as you would think that Izuku would have blushed because of her costume being skin tight and all. However, not really, as he's basically seen that of the girls here, shinobi uniforms, especially that of Yumi and Asuka's. Asuka's, pretty normal. It's basically that of a a school uniform with that of a sweater on that basically shows quite a bit of her, that pronounces that of her boobs after all. Yumi, which a white kimono that basically accentuate that of her chest, and the rest of the other girls. He's seen that of Yajayu's and Hibari's, shinobi transformations, which Yajayu's is basically another school uniform close to that of Hanzo Academies, with Yajayu's being close to that of basically a track slash gym uniform with that of bloomers and all. As for his guessing girlfriends, on the other hand, again, lucky that Yozakura's is a lot more conservative, but it shows quite a bit of her legs, to be honest. And it's still, and just like that of Asuka's, it still shows quite a bit of her breast. As for that of, Morikumo, you would think a shy girl like her would feel somewhat uncomfortable with that of her, shinobi uniform. But unfortunately, you would think dead wrong, given that it looks close to that of a samurai attire that shows quite a bit of her, cleavage after all. If anything, along with side of her oni mask, she looks like that of a demonic samurai. Shiki, this is Shiki we're talking about. Of course, she was going to basically have a shinobi uniform that accentuates basically everything from her breasts to her ass to her hips. And Miori, on the other hand, she just basically went with something so cute that you would think it would be sexual. But given her body type, she turned that of a simple puffy sundress on a girl with a body that's so developed that it turns the cuteness into something that you would prefer not to say if you're over 18. So looking at that of his fellow classmates, uniforms to that of his girlfriend shinobi uniforms, hell, even that of the shinobi girls that he does know, such as that of Katsuragi and Ikariga, who Ikariga's is a lot more traditional and respectable, showing that of her status as the leader of the Hanzo, elite squad. But to Katsuragi's uniform, it's basically just her school uniform with removing that of her bra to just her school, to just it being unbuttoned and opened to the world, so the world can just see her breasts without even bothering. So to be honest, she didn't even put any effort into it. And it's moments like that he wonders if female shinobis are supposed to be the superior to that of us to male shinobis, why do they over-sexualize themselves so much? With Izuku basically trying to come to this realization, wondering on how the current shinobi society is like for that of females, as he goes through that of multiple options, from that of maybe to make it easier to wear, possibly to their own specifications, which is most likely. But then he begins to think maybe hero culture, like certain heroes that inspire them. But seeing that some of his fellow female shinobis don't really like heroes, like that of Ikariga, he doubts that. But still, he kind of wants to just tries to wrap his head around it. With then soon finally getting out of his thoughts as All Might speaks up, with then All Might saying, "Now gather around, you newbies. It's time we begin your first training exercise in combat." With then Ida raising his hand saying, "Sir, I have a question." Saying, of course, young Ida. Say what's on your mind." Saying, "Thank you, sir. But may I ask, you said that you don't plan on expelling us like that of Mr. Aizawa. But what will be the training exercise?" As All Might was about to speak up, with then soon Bakugo blurts out, "Can we brutalize our opponents if we can? Or whatever gets in our way?" With then All Might say, "This kid, young Bakugo." With then soon Aoyama basically cutting him off, saying, "Does this cape make me look très chic?" With showing, as Aoyama basically shows off his costume's purple cape. With then soon All Might saying, "Please, one question at a time. I may have that of good hearing, but I can't answer everything at once. But first, your first question, young Ida." This training exercise will basically be a team combat training drill. As for your other question, young Bakugo, no, you will not be able to brutalize. You will be able to give it everything you got, but if you do anything that's basically lethal and to mortally wound that of your opponents, then you will be, then just like Mr. Aizawa, I will expel you and remove you from the class entirely. And forget staying at UA. You will go to jail for such actions. Within soon, Bakugo couldn't help but scoff, and that of annoyance, but acceptance as well. As Aoyama saying, as for you, young Aoyama, your cape looks well nice. Now, let me go over on that of the battle training. You'll be going, just as I said to young Ida, you'll be doing that of team competitions. You will be in the teams of 2, and this will be that of a battle trial. You'll be facing against your other fellow classmates. After hearing that, some of them couldn't help but feel a little bit nervous, while some couldn't help but be excited. As for Bakugo basically looking death glare straight at Izuku. With Izuku is aware of them, but he's not really paying them any attention, as he's not really cares that much about that of Bakugo. Not anymore, at least. Within Tsuyu speaking up saying, but sir, isn't that a bit, dangerous or out of our league? We're still first years, so wouldn't be fighting against something like those robots from the entrance exam be a lot better for us? With a few of them in the class couldn't help but agree with that of Tsuyu's questions. Within, All Might couldn't help but flinch a little bit, but still keeping the smile, saying, well, you see, I actually believe in this year's class's expectations and abilities, not just here in Class 1A, but also those in Class 1B as well. That's why I believe that taking on something like this, which would be normally used for your second year, would be great for you all. It would give you an understanding on how your quirks work on that of your fellow classmates, and when to hold back and when not, and when to use necessary force. You were able to go all out during the entrance exam because you were mainly just fighting against that of robots, but which are not living things and can be repaired at any time. However, when you're facing against your fellow man, even against a villain, there are times when you need to know when to hold back. If you use too much of your quirk, and even too much of your own strength, depending on your quirk, you could kill them. With then soon Izuku hearing this, as he begins remembering that of using one for all for the first time. Back then, he learned on how to use that of one for all and that of percentages. He's able to handle at least that of a good, 10%, but when he uses 100%, his body basically breaks. Even with all of the training that he's done as a kid, using as a shinobi, it still wasn't enough for one for all. Since All Might did say that it's a stock power quirk, and passing on, it gets stronger and stronger, possibly his body needs to acclimate to the quirk even more and more, slowly but surely. However, when he uses that of shinobi tension, transforming into that of his shinobi attire, his outfit basically takes the full brunt of one for all stock power. If he goes 100%, it basically protecting his body from any damage. But again, it came at the cost of his clothing, which basically leaves him butt booty naked. Just like anybody shinobi garbs take too much damage when they transform, after all. So it's basically a good way to defend himself, but at the same time, it could basically destroy his transformation as well. And given he's only wearing his hero costume, and that he can't use his shinobi transformation while in that of hero class, it's kind of a pain in the ass, especially when he remembers the reason. But he also understands the reason why, especially from Mr. Aizawa during that of training on the first day, with remembering the flashback. Izuku, alongside those of his comrades, after finishing their training and basically resting for a bit, Aizawa saying, not bad. all of you. But also, just to let you know, since all of you are in the hero course, you all know that you can't use your shinobi transformations during hero training. You can still use whatever ninpo you do have, but if you use your transformations in any situation here at the school, then you will be removed from the shinobi course and expelled from the hero course as well. With then soon hearing this, Cyril saying, "But sir, you do know our shinobi transformations basically give us the edge in combat and battle, right?" Saying, "Exactly, which is a good thing in combat. But shinobis are mainly to keep a secret. You, like I told you, UA just became a shinobi school. There's not a lot of shinobi students here at UA, just like I told you when this class began. However, and shinobis are mainly supposed to keep in secret. Nobody's supposed to know about them. It's the reason on why they create that of shinobi barriers, basically creating our own pocket dimension to keep our shinobi identities a secret. Heroes, on the other hand, fight in the public. They fight in the open to protect the innocent. Even as underground heroes, we have to give our identity to make sure to protect the innocent as well, and so the public can trust us too, even though we operate in the shadows. Shinobis mainly operate in the shadows that not even the public knows about us. The only people that know about us are select heroes and the government themselves. They allow shinobis to exist because we are necessary for the stability of Japan. If you use a shinobi transformation in that of public, even to have that of strong to fight in combat to give you an edge, to some people they will see it as that of a trap. Midoriya, within Izuku, basically stepping up saying, "Yes, sir. You used your shinobi transformation during the entrance exam. You passed it off as that of your quirk. When I found out that you were actually quirkless, it basically made sense. But then when I found out that you actually awakened your quirk and that you are now that of a late bloomer, it's proof. Now that you have a quirk, you need to use your shinobi transformations properly, especially now knowing how powerful your quirk is. So train while you can. Use your shinobi skills that you do know in combat, and only use your shinobi transformation alongside your quirk as a last resort. I want you to have better control over your quirk outside of just using your shinobi transformations. As for the rest of you, just like Midoriya, do not use your shinobi transformations in case of an emergency. But if there is an emergency, I expect you to use shinobi barriers to keep it on lock, and then revert back to normal as well. Do I make myself clear?" With then everybody saying, "Yes, sir," as Aizawa basically made sure that they basically get it by using his quirk, while also having that of a bit of killer intent as well. With then Izuku remembers saying, "I can't use shinobi transformation. It's a good thing I have a better control over that of One for All, at least for now. But even so, I relied so much on shinobi transformations as a kid, I have no idea how to use my abilities outside of it. Hell, I'm probably not even the only one. I know Asuka, alongside that of Katsuragi, Yajayu, Hibari, Shiki, and Miori basically have these problems. But the rest of the other girls, on the other hand, they're able to use their shinobi abilities even without a shinobi transformation. Sure, it takes up a lot of stamina and energy from a person's body where a transformation basically allows a person to do to do as many ninpo abilities and techniques as much as they want with unlimited stamina. But even so, with Izuku looking at his hands and at his gloves, within gripping them saying, "I gotta give it my all. I know I've already been able to use my elemental techniques even with one sword at a time. I'll just make sure to do so. It's a good thing they gave me permission to use that of my ninja weapons for my costume. Thank you for that, Mr. Aizawa." As he does have his his two, two Nietzsche katanas. However, they're in that of a scroll in one of his utility belts. With then soon, All Might seeing that of Izuku's costume, within realizing, I understand the reason where I could see that from. As he realized that it's basically after him, inspired by him entirely. Well, not entirely after all. Within Sue, All Might saying, now then, come up and choose who you'll be partnered with. With then coming up one by one, each of them grab that of a spear, seeing on which team they'll be, based on the letter they get. With Izuku getting that of the letter A within his partner, as it actually being, Momo. With then soon All Might saying, I forgot. Since we are missing one student of part of Class 1A, since I heard that young Mineta was expelled, truly tragic. It seems that one of you might have to be teams with somebody else. And to make sure that it's fair and it's random, I'll make sure to only leave one box. So the last person that comes up with then, as each person has that of another letter, with then soon there's only one person left, as it being, Jiro, unfortunately. Within soon, she has that of the letter A. Within saying, I guess I'm partnered up with you, Midoriya. Within say, yeah, guess so. With then soon, however, who was the person that's, got the extra letter? As it being Sero, as he got the letter D, as he's basically teamed up with Bakugo and Ida. With then soon seeing this, Sero saying, damn, I got Mr. Uptight and I got that of the Mr. Smartass. Within soon, Ida saying, pardon me? Within Bakugo saying, you want to go, weird arms? Let's go, you piece of shit. Saying, point proven. As he basically waves his arm to both his teammates. With then soon, all the teams have now been settled. Now with the teams now composed, I will basically choose randomly on who will be heroes and who will be villains. As two boxes with the letter H and one with the letter V. Within, All Might basically grabbing onto random balls, as in the H being that of Team A, and on that of the villains being that of Team D. With then soon seeing this saying, aha, it looks like Team A are the heroes and Team D will be the villains. They will be the ones that will start this training exercise. With then seeing this, Izuku saying, looks like fate won't basically separate me and Kachan after all. What a pain in my ass. With then looking back at Bakugo, as he giving that of a feral grin of pure satisfaction, as he's finally able to do something that he's always wanted to do, put Izuku back in his place once and for all. He may not be able to kill the nerd as he always wanted to, but at least he'll be able to beat him with an inch of his life, just like he used to back when they were kids back in elementary school, before Izuku got what he is now. With then soon as All Might saying, now villains, head to the designated location on where you'll be taking care of this exam. As for you heroes, take your time to plan things out. I will be giving you the details about this training exercise actually before time begins, so please get ready. With then both Bakugo, Ida, and Sero heading to that of the one of the abandoned buildings where where the trial will begin. With Sero saying, "Good luck, Midoriya. I'm gonna see what you're really capable of." Saying, "You too, Sero. I'll show you what I'm capable of." With then, as Izuku having that of a feral grin under his rebreather mask. Within, Izuku saying, "So, Jiro, should we plan out our attack?" Within, Jiro saying, "Sure. We just gotta wait for All Might to give us the information saying, right. However, as they begin to walk to the location as well, outside of UA, in the city, into that of the city of Masafu, lies that of a certain young girl, that being Misaki, still holding on to that of her stuffed animal, Bibebi, as the aura that she used at that of Hibijo begins to grow even bigger and bigger, within saying, Izuku, Izzy, you're there. I know it. You're there, aren't you? As she holds on to her prized stuffed animal, within soon, many civilians begin to feel uneasy around that of, Murasaki, with some even going to that of their knees, with then soon a hero showing up saying, what are you doing, young lady? Stop what you're doing, villain. Within soon, Murasaki, not even caring about the hero that just showed up, just looks at them before they soon just passes out, just like everybody else. Within, one of the civilians saying, oh, run away! A villain attack! With then, soon, not even caring about the screaming crowd, she goes closer and closer to UA, as all she can think about is one greenette. However, younger, currently floating in her head, shows that of a single memory of a crying Misaki holding on to that of Bibebi, before then a hand offering up to her, as this hand being from a young Izuku, with then saying, hey, are you okay? Don't worry, they won't hurt you anymore, because I'm here. As Misaki looks at Izuku, within, to her, Izuku was bright, like the sun, that shined bright above her, was like the closest thing to the one joy of her life that wasn't close to that of video games or anything like that. To her, Izuku was close to that of a savior to the girl, even to this day. And the one thing she wants most is to see her savior, to see her first love once again. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Let's read them. And happy Valentine's Day. Yeah, this chapter was also a Valentine's Day special. Sorry it's not as long as I originally wanted to be. Originally, it was going to be that it was going to go all the way into that of the battle trial, to then Izuku meeting Murasaki soon after, and then it was supposed to end like that. However, I realized I made this chapter way too goddamn long. And that's my own fault, because I added that of the Midoriya's history. I also added that of the, info, with that of adding more to that of Class 1A, and even showing Izuku, being more talkative and open up to people after all. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. That's my fault. But I also wanted to show that there's more to the world more outside of the world than just Izuku and his harem after all. Even though that they are the main focus of this story. But even so, still gotta give somewhat of world building in some way. At any rate, if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification to keep up to date my videos when I upload on the channel. Also, please check out my Discord, my gaming channel, my main channel, my other channel, my Patreon, and my Cash App. All linked in the description below. So, with all that said, this is Leon Mookie, signing out. Later, guys, and hope you all take care.